How to grow sunflowers. Sunflowers develop best in areas with full sun. They are strikingly intense and will develop in any sort of soil as long as it isn't waterlogged. They do fine in soils that are marginally acidic to some degree soluble, pH 6.0 to 7.5. When sunflowers begin, they can endure dry spell as befits plants whose predecessors developed joyfully in dry prairie areas. They are so natural to develop that they frequently plant themselves, jumping up unbidden underneath a flying creature feeder. Sunflower seeds, leaves, and stems discharge substances that hinder the development of certain different plants. They ought to be isolated from potatoes and post beans. Where sunflower seeds are consistently utilized as winged animal nourish, poisons from the gathered seed frames in the end slaughter the grass beneath. Safe to creatures or individuals, the poisons, in the end, biodegrade in the dirt. Despite the fact that sunflowers can be begun inside in singular peat pots, it is almost effortless to sow seeds specifically into the dirt after all peril of spring ice is past. Be that as it may, where the developing season is short, sunflowers can be securely planted up to 2 weeks before the last expected spring ice. Sunflowers can take a chill or two. Where developing seasons are long, it is best to hold up until the point that the dirt temperature comes to 55 degrees to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. To plant sunflowers, space seeds around 6 inches separated in a shallow trench in the vicinity of 1 and 2 inches profound. In sandy soil, 2 inches profound is better. Cover and keep watered until the point when seeds grow in 7 to 10 days. At the point when first evident leaves show up, the second arrangement of leaves, thin plants to around 2 feet separated. Contingent upon the assortment, sunflowers will develop and create seeds in 80 to 120 days. Sow another line each 2 to 3 weeks to appreciate consistent blossoms until the primary ice. For greatest seed generation, space columns 2 to 3 feet separated. Utilize conventional, tall, seed-creating assortments, for example, Mammoth or Paul Bunyan Hybrid, Aztec Gold Hybrid, or Super Snack Hybrid. To develop littler blooms for bunches, space plants considerably nearer together. About 6 inches separated in Maine, or as close as 2 crawls in dry spots like Arizona. Skip preparing. The plants will be significantly littler, with fewer branches, yet the stems will be longer and blossom heads a decent size for courses of action. Sunflower roots spread generally and can withstand some dry season. Be that as it may, it is best to water them frequently amid their most vital development period, which is around 20 days when blossoming. Profound, consistent watering supports root development, which is particularly useful with taller sunflower assortments bearing best overwhelming sprouts. Sunflowers don't require preparing. In any case, since they develop energetically, they can undoubtedly grow 6 feet in only 3 months. It's a smart thought to include some ease-back-acting granulum in a particularly poor, thin soil. The better their eating routine, the bigger the blooms. Try not to overcompensate the nitrogen since that will postpone blossoming. Spreading a 2 or 3 inch mulch layer or some likeness thereof of natural material on the dirt will decrease dampness misfortune through vanishing and demoralize weeds. While a couple of sunflower assortments needn't bother with any staking, it is a smart thought to help plants that develop more than 3 feet tall or are multi-expanded. Their branches are genuinely fragile, particularly at the focuses where they join the stems. Shallow established and burdened with numerous huge blossom heads, plants are defenseless against summer winds and rain. Attach the plants freely to stakes with lengths of fabric or other delicate material as required. Sunflowers are essentially as joyful as their grinning faces propose. Be that as it may, they are some of the time tainted with parasitic ailments. For example, molds and rusts. Fleece mildew causes mottling and pale regions on upper leaf surfaces and a fluffy shape development on their undersides. In the long run, the leaves wilt and bite the dust. The most seasoned leaves are typically tainted first. The wool buildup is well on the way to happen on cool sodden evenings and warm moist days. It spreads by methods for small spores conveyed to plants and soil by wind and rain or transmitted by plant devices. It won't execute a developed plant, it just defaces its appearance. Reaping tips for sunflowers. In the late summer, check bloom sets out for indications of development. The invert side abandons green to a yellow darker. Expansive heads will gesture descending. A nearby look will uncover the little petals covering the creating seeds have dried and now drop out, effectively uncovering the firmly stuffed developed seeds.